Hi everyone, in this lecture we're going to discuss the business model canvas. In the following slides, we're going to analyze each element of the business model canvas. A BMC, which we will refer to it as from now on, allows you to explain your entire business model in a single page through a more visual format. Some of the components of business model canvas are mentioned here. Stuff like customer segments, channels, etc. And to see how BMC looks visually, let's move on to the next slide. And here we go. This is how a BMC looks like on a page of paper. You can see how simple it is to represent every aspect of a business, and investors and people who are researching the company love this format because it gives you everything a company is within a one page. We had discussed value proposition in the previous lecture, which forms the basis of BMC. It is right here in the middle, and it is surrounded by everything related to the customer on the right side, like customer relationships, customer segments and channels, with revenue on the bottom right, and everything, all the major aspects of the business, like key partners, key activities and key resources on the left side, with cost structure on the bottom left. We'll discuss each one of these points using an example of Ola scooters, which are really nice electric scooters that are about to be released very soon. First, let's start with the value proposition of Ola electric scooters. As we had discussed in the previous lecture, the main formula to write down a value proposition, to design a value proposition, has to do with four main points: customer, product, value and competitors. So for Ola electric scooters, we would write the value proposition something like this: for the new generation of eco-conscious riders, which are our customer, our electric scooters, which is the product, takes passenger from one point to another in a way that is clean, dependable and quiet, which is the value that we are providing to the customer. Unlike petrol scooters that burn fuel to cause pollution and other environmental problems as a whole, which is something we're comparing ourselves to the competition. Now, moving on to the next point, which is called customer segment. If the customer segment is represented as a pie, the different slices of a pie represent variations in their profile. Each of them slices have their own value proposition. For this example, we have taken the customer segment for Ola electric scooters. All of these numbers are just imaginary. They're just written down for the sake of the example, but it gives us an idea of how the customer base of Ola electric scooters is divided into people who are environmental conscious, something like 42%, some people who are economic conscious, who want to save money, some people who are short distance travelers, and then there are others. Like this, you can subdivide a customer segment based on social segments, demographic segments, geological segments, and that's what you fill in the customer segment part of the BMC. The next main component of the BMC is channels. It looks at how the product or service is delivered to the customer. Ola has a top-down approach to making its scooters available to the market. Just like Tesla, they plan to do most of their online marketing and have showrooms around the city where potential customers can test drive the vehicle before making the final purchase. Customer relationship. Customer relationship is all about how customer relationships are established, maintained and grown. Ola Scooters started by appealing to their already existing established customer base. They are a well-established taxi company which adds to the appeal and reduces the risk factor for its investors. Since it's already established and has an infrastructure that is already existing, there's less risk investing in a company like that, because it can always balance its profits. It's too soon to tell, but they will maintain their customer base by providing strong customer services and thereby growing it too. Revenue stream. This block is used to determine the key drivers of revenue. In the case of Ola Scooters, we can predict revenue not only with the sale of scooters, but also other services that come along with it. For example, service centers and charging stations. So when you sell a scooter, you're not just selling a scooter. You also have a long-term benefit, long-term revenue stream for it, just like any other product. We'll discuss the three main points on the left side: key resources, activities, and partners, in a single slide. Some of the examples of resources could be physical, intellectual, like patents, financial, like financial assets. Activities could be R&D activities, research and development, network, infrastructure. Some of the key partners a business can be government. In the case of Ola, there could be petrol station owners who would help Ola Scooters set up their charging stations for the scooters, and then retailers. Companies balance these aspects of each block. Tata and Reliance, for example, are backed by huge financial resources. Tesla hugely invests in R&D and infrastructure, which does most of the heavy lifting for them. While making government as its significant partner, thus obtaining huge subsidies on solar electric projects. In the next slide, we will discuss cost structure. The previous mentioned activities all contribute to the cost structure. The top three playing a role in Ola electric scooters is R&D, payroll, and infrastructure. There are other costs associated with the business, but these three are the main ones. For this week's activity, let's use your knowledge to build the PMC of your favorite company or startup you're involved with. Feel free to download a template used in these slides from the link, or draw one of your own. Thank you.